Jesus anointed at Bethany. Mark 14 verses 1 to 10. 14 Now the Passover and the Festival of Unleavened Bread were only 2 days away, and the chief priests and the teachers of the law were scheming to arrest Jesus secretly and kill him. 2. But not during the festival, they said, or the people may riot. 3. While he was in Bethany, reclining at the table in the home of Simon the Leper, a woman came with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume made of pure nard. She broke the jar and poured the perfume on his head. For some of those present were saying indignantly to one another, "Why this waste of perfume? 5. It could have been sold for more than a year's wages and the money given to the poor." And they rebuked her harshly. 6. Leave her alone, said Jesus. Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. 7. The poor you will always have with you, and you can help them any time you want. But you will not always have me. 8. She did what she could. She poured perfume on my body beforehand to prepare for my burial. 9. Truly I tell you, wherever the gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her. 10. Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, went to the chief priests to betray Jesus to them. 11. They were delighted to hear this and promised to give him money. So he watched for an opportunity to hand him over. Many of the Holy Week days have different names depending on the denomination or country you worship in. For example, Palm Sunday is sometimes called Passion Sunday, since it starts the Passion Week, and Holy Saturday is sometimes called Black Saturday, since it represents a black day where Jesus is still in the tomb. Holy Wednesday, the day when Judas met with the Jewish leaders and was paid 30 pieces of silver to betray Jesus, is sometimes called Spy Wednesday. What is the meaning of Holy Wednesday being called Spy Wednesday? As discussed before, Spy Wednesday signifies when Judas agreed to betray Jesus to the Sanhedrin, the religious leaders. Let's take a look at the text to see how this went down. Matthew 26 verses 14 to 16. Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and asked, "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you?" So they counted out for him 30 pieces of silver. From then on, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand him over. Matthew 27 verses 1 to 10. Early in the morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people made their plans how to have Jesus executed. So they bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate the governor. When Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus was condemned, he was seized with remorse and returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and the elders. "I have sinned," he said, "for I have betrayed innocent blood." "What is that to us?" they replied. "That's your responsibility." So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and hanged himself. The chief priests picked up the coins and said, "It is against the law to put this into the treasury, since it is blood money." So they decided to use the money to buy the potter's field as a burial place for foreigners. That is why it has been called the field of blood to this day. Then what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled. They took the 30 pieces of silver, the price set on him by the people of Israel, and they used them to buy the potter's field, as the Lord commanded me. They used the money to buy a potter's field. Read the verse from Zechariah again, and see where the 30 pieces of silver go there. The verse in Matthew also mentions a prophecy in Jeremiah that also predicts this event. Judas was clearly in the wrong. He betrayed the very man who he followed for years. But because of Spy Wednesday, we see yet another prophecy fulfilled from the Old Testament. Judas' role fulfills words declared hundreds of years before and further proves the validity of the Bible and Christianity. The article was written by Hope Bollinger, an acquisitions editor at Endgame Press, book editor for hire, and the author of almost 30 books. More than 1,500 of her works have been featured in various publications. Check out her books at hopebollinger.com for clean books in most genres, great for adults and kids. Check out her editing profile at readsy.com to find out about hiring her for your next book project.